Hi, bestie. Belly fat often feels like it's super easy to gain, but the most impossible thing to lose. How do I know? Because that was literally me. During my 75-pound fat loss journey, stomach fat was the hardest area for me to get rid of. But honestly, it's not as complicated as everybody makes it out to be. What I'm gonna do in this video is share with you my 5-step routine on how to lose stomach fat. So get your coffee, get your matcha, settle in, and let's have a yap fest. Now let's pause because most people say the fastest way to lose belly fat is ensuring you work out 4 to 5 times a week, removing junk food from your diet, lifting, trying keto, cutting out added sugar, eating a ton of fruits and veggies, lowering stress, avoiding late night snacking, moving more daily, drinking enough water, adding lemon to your water so your water doesn't taste like booty, doing intermittent fasting, getting a personal trainer so on the days you don't feel motivated to work out, you still go. Tips like these are the quote-unquote fastest way to lose belly fat. But are these tips sustainable? Haven't most of us heard these tips before? Because I know I have. Well, this is exactly why I'm sharing this video with you, because not only are all of the tips going to help you lose belly fat naturally, it's going to help you keep it off and not give you the same repetitive tips you've heard a billion times. Now, back to the video. Before we dive into the 5 steps, I want to make 2 points very clear. Number 1, new research is emerging showing that spot reduction might actually be possible. For years, fitness trainers and influencers have been preaching that you can't target spot reduction, and new science is coming up that's really starting to challenge this belief. If you want more details on this, I'm going to post a video here for you to watch after this one that goes into the science, and I've even linked down below in the description box of that video a bunch of research papers that you can read to learn more about it. But one thing to always keep in mind on topics like this is science is always emerging. They're always testing new things and finding new things out. So even as I say this, there might be more science that comes out in a year from now that challenges this belief. So it's something that we just have to continuously learn and educate ourselves on because things are changing all the time. But this is why my approach to losing stomach fat is different than what you probably have heard already. So I want you to keep that in mind as I tell you all of these other tips. Point number 2 that's very important for you to understand is so many people say losing stomach fat is simply about calories in versus calories out. While that's true, it doesn't give you the full picture. Let me put my coffee down because I'm very passionate about this point. If you lower your calories by 20%, your metabolic rate is also going to lower by 20%. What this means is that your body literally goes into survival mode because our bodies are meant for us to survive. And so if you start consuming less calories, your body starts freaking out and it's like, whoa, what's happening? I got to make sure I protect myself. I got to make sure I'm okay. So we're going to hold on to this fat because I want you to be able to survive if all of a sudden you can't eat food for 24 hours. While calories in versus calories out can help some people who already eat a pretty clean diet, if you're just starting out, in my opinion, it's not the most efficient way to do it. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is what 200 calories of Doritos looks like. And this is what 200 calories of strawberries looks like. So this is the difference between counting calories, because you could count calories, and both of these equal 200 calories, or you could focus on quality and get more out of the food that you're eating. If somebody decides to eat 1,000 calories worth of chicken breast, green beans, and strawberries, and somebody else eats 500 calories of chips, even though the person eating 500 calories of chips has a lower amount, the person who's eating 1,000 calories of all of those macro and micronutrients are going to reap so much more, and that is actually going to help them lose fat versus the person who's just eating 500 calories worth of chips. And that is so much more important for you to focus on, especially if you're trying to lose stomach fat. When I first started out, I remember looking up on TikTok, looking up on Instagram, finding some of my favorite creators to this day, Sarah's Day and Natasha Oceani. I remember looking at how many calories these girls would eat. I think Natasha eats about 2,400 calories every single day. And when I first started my fat loss journey, I was literally eating like 1,400 calories. And I was like, how is this girl eating so many more calories than me? And I'm over here struggling with 1,400 calories. The reason is because she was focused on the quality of the food that she was eating versus the quantity. She was focused on ensuring she had proteins, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. I was just focused on the amount of calories that I'm eating. And when you only focus on calories, you restrict and you limit yourself. And that's when a lot of unhealthy practices that a lot of women struggle with start to come into the play. And that's why I'm very passionate that we are more efficient when it comes to losing belly fat, and we focus on the quality of foods versus the quantity. Okay, now let's dive into this 5-step routine. This is the fastest way that I have seen to lose belly fat, and these morning habits have literally changed my life. The very first thing that I do is apple cider vinegar every single morning. I drink 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with 8 ounces of water. The reason why I struggled and why so many people struggle with losing fat is that I didn't understand that my hormones affect the way my body handles calories. As I said earlier, fat loss isn't just about calories. Fat loss is influenced by your hormones, which controls how your body stores or burns fat. You guys are probably sensing a little bit of frustration in this video when I talk about this, but it's not just about eating less and exercising more. Imbalanced hormones like insulin, cortisol, and others can slow down fat loss, especially in stubborn areas like belly fat. All the steps in my morning routine, especially this first one, really help balance out my hormones, especially insulin, and it makes it that much easier for me to lose stomach fat. But what do we do when it comes to nutrition? The second morning routine habit that's really helped me lose stomach fat is front-loading most of my food at the beginning of the day, aka meals of royalty. I like to eat like a queen at the beginning of the day, a princess in the middle of the day, and I eat like a peasant at the end of the day. Let's be really clear on the research here, because I've done a lot of research on this. Researchers looked at 2 groups of people. Group A had most of their food at the beginning of the day. Group B had most of their food at the end of the day. Everything else for these groups stayed the same. The amount of calories they had, the amount of macros, and even their workouts. There was no change or difference in fat gain. Now, the biggest change was that the group who had most of their food at the beginning of the day was not as hungry throughout the day. And this is why I like to front load my calories. I am someone who could eat at any point in time because I love food. I'm a foodie, okay? And so eating most of my calories at the beginning of the day helps me to manage how much I'm eating throughout the rest of the day. I want to be very clear with this tip that this is just something that has helped me. This is not scientifically proven. So if you are someone who just prefers to eat more of your food at the end of the day, that's fine. I'm just giving you a tip here that has worked really well for me, and it helps me not feel as hungry throughout the day. Front loading your calories is one thing, but something that nobody is talking about that I think is the number one reason why women in particular struggle to lose fat? No one is teaching us how to make better decisions to respond appropriately, which is why the third thing I do in my morning routine is I create space to respond and feel my emotions without reacting impulsively. So I know some people are probably watching this section like, how in the heck does creating space to feel my emotions help me lose stomach fat? And here's the thing. When I was going through my fat loss journey, if a bad thing would happen in my day that would trigger me, I would just respond out of my emotions and I would react really impulsively. And over time, that created really bad habits for me because I wasn't responding out of the goals that I set and the highest version of myself. I was responding out of being triggered. And so I really had to learn and teach myself how to respond and process the way that I'm feeling so that I don't make bad reactions or make bad decisions on my fat loss journey. And something that helped me do that is grounding exercises every single morning, taking 10 to 15 minutes to meditate. Sometimes I journal. And then I love to tell myself 3 things that I'm grateful for in that day. I know gratitude doesn't really seem like something that would help us lose fat, but the more that you appreciate your body, your size, everything that you are today, the more that you're going to appreciate your body whenever you hit that fat loss goal. And just because you lose 30 pounds doesn't mean you're going to be happy. You have to be happy now. And then as you're on this process, you're going to learn to become even more happy because you're going to start boosting your confidence and boosting your self-esteem through the things that you're learning and teaching yourself. And then it becomes less about the way that you look and more about the way that you are and how confident you feel in you from the way that you're showing up for yourself. And then the last thing I like to do is ask myself, what do I need to do today to align with my highest self? And a lot of times that's not eating super processed foods. It's not eating sugary foods. It's eating things like high protein, spinach, kale, leafy greens that are going to give me a lot of nutrients and vitamins. It's moving my body in a way that feels good. And it's taking the time to ask myself these questions so that then if something does trigger me in the day, I don't just pop off. I also like to ask myself, what can I do to bring myself more joy today? Because whenever you're setting out on a new journey, whether it's fat loss or creating new habits in your life, you are literally shocking your body system because you're developing new habits and you're also letting old habits go. And so when you do this, you got to show yourself you got your own back. And so by doing this, you're going to improve your self-confidence, you're going to improve your self-love, and you're going to be showing your nervous system that it's okay to step out and do these new habits, that you're safe and that you're going to be okay. It's really, really important to show that to yourself every single day when you're navigating a new journey. Fourth morning routine habit that I love to do every single day is move my body. The fastest way that I've lost stomach fat is through HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training, which means you are going to be spiking your heart rate for a short period of time and then lowering that heart rate. And specifically the HIIT that I like to do combines strength training and cardio. This is so important because strength training, especially as you're losing fat, is going to help you maintain muscle, and maintaining muscle is going to allow your body to burn more fat on a day-to-day basis. So you don't want to lose fat and lose muscle. You just want to lose fat. And so the only way for you to lose fat without losing muscle is making sure that you're still getting in strength training exercises at least 3 times a week. Now, I also like to combine cardio within my HIIT because cardio is what's going to help you burn a lot of calories in a short period of time. I don't do HIIT every single day. That'd be a little crazy. I do love to get in long walks on the days that I don't do my HIIT workouts. Long walks are one of the best ways to burn fat. If you do a long walk for anywhere from like an hour and a half to 2 hours, you don't have to do it all within this time, but you could break it out throughout your entire day. This is going to help you lower your cortisol. It's going to help you relax, be connected with nature, and really get outside of your place of work so that you can be within the environment. You doing this is going to allow you to relax, which is going to make it that much easier for your body to let go of fat. I think long walks are one of the most underrated movement tools out there. And if you start doing that with a combination of HIIT every single week, you are going to see that fat start to fly off. What is the most important and fastest way to lose stomach fat? Well, I'll just say I kind of tricked you with the title of this video because I say what I do every single morning, but really what I do every single morning starts and depends on my night. I developed a very specific nighttime routine to ensure that I get at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. And I know everybody and their mama likes to talk about sleep, but I would be doing us all a disservice if I didn't talk about the effects that it's had on helping me lose stomach fat. And research has come out that has really shown that women in particular, when we are on our periods, we need even more sleep, which just continues to show why sleep is so important when it comes to balancing your hormones, your mood, and even how much food you eat throughout the day. There's a few research papers that showcase people who have less sleep tend to eat more, and they also tend to eat more processed and fatty foods, which is not going to help you when you're trying to lose stomach fat. Everybody's body is different, but I highly recommend at least 8 hours of sleep because we've all been around those cranky people, okay? The people who are snapping at you, they're yelling at you, and you're like, what is going on? And they're like, oh, I've had a bad night of sleep. Don't be that person, okay? Sleep is going to help you regulate your hormones. It's going to help you eat better throughout the day, and it's going to allow you to make better decisions through every step of this fat loss journey. Don't underestimate the power of a powerful sleep routine. It's genuinely a game changer. But the thing I want you to remember most is that if you're someone who's put on stomach fat over a period of time, you didn't gain that stomach fat overnight, and you're not going to lose it overnight. So we have to remember to be kind and loving to ourselves throughout this entire process. Everything I've shared with you in this video takes time, and it takes small habits of you adjusting so that you can allow your body to feel safe and comfortable as you navigate this fat loss journey. Stomach fat can feel so difficult to deal with, but I promise you, it doesn't have to be nearly as complicated as it seems. Take one of the habits that I've shared in this video, try it out for a week, and then come back and watch this video and try out the next habit so that over time, you'll start to see your body really start to change. Because I promise you, stomach fat is not nearly as difficult as it seems. It can happen. You can lose that weight, girl. And I'm here every step of the way helping you through it. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon.